We've been seeing some states act like the rules don't apply to them. For example, we had some blue states like New York, California, Illinois, Oregon, and Washington act as if the federal rules, such as deporting illegals, don't apply to them. They have declared sanctuary cities, and they absolutely stood in the way of the ICE officials in discharging their duty. All these things point to some inherent problem inside the United States. Are some states preparing to declare independence from the United States of America? Is it possible? Is it feasible? All this stuff and more in this brief monologue. And I'm going to show you some statistics that will sober up everybody who thinks that they deserve to be independent on their own. So, buckle your seatbelt and get in for a fantastic ride. And a small request to all of you to please like this video, and if you have not already subscribed to our channel, do subscribe to our channel. Here we go. Who was Parshurama, who led a life of devotion, dedication, and daring? Why did he take birth on the earth? Was it to eradicate corrupt Kshatriya rulers who had become tyrannical and oppressive, or was it to bestow daya for the needy? Can any state declare itself independent? The economic engines of the United States and the secession question. First of all, if any state were to declare independence, it would be perhaps the ones that are economically quite powerful. In fact, some of them are bigger than countries, and I'm going to give you the data, and maybe one of these could say, okay, heck with it, I'm going to declare independence. Is it possible or not? We're going to examine it from a constitutional point of view as well as other ways in which this could perhaps happen. Let's start with the biggest in terms of economy state, which is California, ranked number 1 in United States, and its economy size is $4.1 trillion, T as in trillion. Global rival, it has a larger economy than the United Kingdom, France, or India. And what are its strengths? Technology, agriculture, and entertainment. Like, for example, Hollywood and all the other OTT platforms, Netflix, what have you. I mean, if you look at Mac 7, right, except Tesla, which also used to be part of California, almost all of them are incorporated here. Of course, Microsoft and Amazon are not, so but you take away 3, 4 are incorporated in the state of California. So it is a big deal, and I think this fervor to want to be separate is dying down now. Recently, I've been seeing some signs where California is beginning to understand that, oops, we have made a huge mistake, we have gone too far to the left, we need to course correct. I am feeling that, but again, since I live in California, I can tell you this, but who knows? These things are very dicey in my opinion. So number 1 is California. Number 2 is Texas. It's a larger economy than Brazil, Canada, or Russia. Its main strengths are energy, manufacturing, and export. Remember, I told you energy, every petrodollar deal gets signed in Houston, and Houston gets a cut of it because they basically look over the whole thing. They make sure that the logistics are done right, the escrow details are done right, and so on and so forth. And today, 80% of all petroleum purchases, I'm saying all, meaning like crude, natural gas, and so on, are still being done using the United States dollar. So Houston, though diminished, it's still a powerful force in energy. And manufacturing, they have a lot of manufacturing stuff. Like, for example, now that Texas Instruments is based there. You have Tesla moving there. Tesla's many other subsidiaries are based there. Also, Oracle has moved there. So many big multi-billion-dollar corporations are moving to Texas. So it's Texas's gain and California's loss. So things are moving. I'm hearing also that X might move its headquarters from San Francisco to Texas. Basically, Elon Musk has said, okay, I'm done with California. It's very unfortunate. The guy has a fairly big operation still of Tesla in the Silicon Valley, but he's saying that it's just too expensive, the regulations are too cumbersome, and so on and so forth. So number 2 is Texas. Number 3, New York. Global rivals, it is comparable to Italy or South Korea. Its strengths are finance, media, and real estate. All of the advertising industry based in New York. All of the finance, all the hedge funds, private equity, stock exchanges, everything is in New York. And a lot of real estate, because Manhattan is one of the most expensive real estate areas in the whole world. So this is what makes New York number 3, although with the election of Mamdani, who knows, many people are saying that they are going to pull up their stakes from Manhattan and move to Miami. This trend has been going on for a long time, 40-50 years. I think it will accelerate if Mamdani starts acting funny, and I think he's already acting funny. So God save the state of New York. Next, Florida, 1.7 trillion. As a global rival, it is comparable to Spain or Mexico. Its main producers are tourism, agriculture, and aerospace. Do you know that there is no state tax in Florida? That's why many people retire there, because you don't have to pay any state tax. It is just basically what you pay for your federal taxes. So that's a big boost. So that's one of the reasons and attractions why people move to Florida. Plus the weather, of course, barring the hurricane season, it's pretty nice. So these are all the reasons why people flock to Florida. It's warm throughout the year, except maybe in the northern parts of Florida. It might get a little bit of cool weather during winter, but other than that, it's a pretty nice balmy state. Especially Miami, which in the very tip of Florida, it's really warm there. I have gone and stood in the beach and then showered. Before you get back to the hotel, right there are freshwater showers. You can just shower yourself and then go there, and it was all very warm. I was there at the height of winter. Now, the big question: can they secede? Many wonder if these economic giants can simply vote to leave. The short answer is no, they can't. But there are some conditions, and I'm going to come to that in just a second. The first thing is, there was a ruling in 1869, Texas versus White. The Supreme Court ruled that the entry of a state into the Union creates an indissoluble relation. The Union is perpetual. The only exceptions are, and there are exceptions, through a violent revolution, like for example a war, through the consent of the states, a constitutional amendment that would have to be ratified by 38 states. In other words, for any of these 4 states to secede, 38 of the remaining 49 states would have to say, yes, you may go. Do you think that's going to happen, especially when most of the states are deficient? I don't think so. Even if one stands up and says, no way, it's all done. But assuming that it did happen, assume that there was a separation and some of these states become independent entities, what's going to happen? Well, first of all, there'll be border chaos. Interstate highways like the I-10 and I-5 would become international borders. Expect massive delays for trucks carrying food and electronics, because every exit sometimes might be a border. I'm not saying all of them, but some might. You would need a passport to visit Disney World or Hollywood. I mean, it's something that's something like stupid. I don't think even California, where you have a lot of this blue bleeding hearts, will see. You have to understand, wake up and smell the coffee. Remember the one big statement that Margaret Thatcher made: socialism works until you run out of other people's money. This is the big deal. This is the reason why everybody needs to wake up and smell the coffee, and you can't just run the thing the way you like. Especially the elected assemblymen and state senators of California, you guys are no good, in my opinion. Currency collapse. Let's say the US dollar, which is backed by the entire US economy, now will have to deal with a situation where say if California secedes, it's 4.1 out of 30 trillion. That's almost 12%. That would mean that the dollar value would plunge. But also, what would California use as a currency? We don't know. This is something that would have to be determined. Would it be like the euro, where every state says, okay, we'll continue to use the US dollar, but we will run things ourselves? I think not. Because the states which are going to be remaining in the United States might just say, show the middle finger to the state that wants to secede. Say, go, fly a kite, do whatever you want. We don't want to be part of you. Next, what about the military assets? Federal bases like the San Diego Naval Base or Fort Cavazos belong to the United States, not the state of California. The US would likely refuse to leave, turning these bases into sovereign US territory within the new country, like Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. Next, what about the water wars? Colorado River supplies water to 7 states And if California leaves, the US could dam the river upstream in Arizona or Nevada, cutting off California's water supply. Water rights would become a weapon of war. So these are all, things that could be good for a dinner table conversation, or what if this happens, what if this happens. I see only downside for any state wanting to secede from the United States. Things are fine just the way they are, and United States needs to look deep within. There are many states where the cost of labor is quite cheap, and if people look a little bit hard and invest a little bit of money, then they can produce many things at prices that are comparable to what you have outside of United States. It's going to take some doing. It's not going to be easy. You'll have to do some careful groundwork. You'll have to, plan for it in a step-by-step process, but it is doable. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.